You're such an asshole!
Let us talk about economics, specifically labor economics, which is a sub-segment of economics that all the communists go into. Actually, all of economics is pretty much infiltrated by communists and mathematicians who like to imagine they're solving the world's problems. And the thing I'd like to talk about the labor force is wages. The rewards for managing an economy correctly, for making wise decisions, wise investments, and let's not just forget about working smarter, but also working harder, people working more hours and becoming more efficient and saving money and investing money and getting a higher rate of return, either through investing in an education, and now you make $60 an hour and you're a great engineer, and you buy stuff and that employs people. Or we instead of investing in Solyndra, which went belly up, and Tesla that went belly up, and Amazon, I still don't think they've made a profit yet. Maybe they have, maybe they haven't. But we invest in things that provide profit and long-term stable employment. All of that economic growth demands some form of labor, some kind of labor. And we've been, even though we've been trying to roboticize things and get people out for some reason, and in instances in time when the economy grows, and it grows faster than what the labor force is growing by, that means there's more money chasing after the same or fewer number of employees. And when that happens, what happens? You have wages go up. Now, this, because of the boom and bust cycle of the economy back in the old days, that was somewhat of a more common occurrence, but now, especially in the past 50 years, government has gotten involved smoothing out the booms and the bust cycles of the economy, so it's not as pronounced as it used to be. But there were times where the economy was growing, where there was more labor, where there was a labor shortage, unemployment got very low, and then guess what happens? Wages go up. Now, like I said, these boom-bust cycles are less frequent. I mean, we still have booms and busts and recessions, but they're not as pronounced and less frequent. The volatility of economic growth, both up and down, has decreased dramatically over the past couple of years. But the last time, right now today, unemployment is below 4%. That's very good. That's incredibly good. Most economists agree that 5% is full employment, where it's the natural amount of unemployment there would be in the labor market because people are willingly giving up their current job to go find better opportunities, or they've been offered better opportunities and they go elsewhere. So there's always, kind of consider it like oil. You can have the most perfectly cut gears, but everybody needs a little bit of oil. So there's always this transitory little bit of fluid migration of labor. Oh, that's a better idea. So that's considered good. You go above 5, it might be recession territory. But we are below 4. We're below 4. This is an employee's market. And so one of the benefits of having the economy do very well, we make wise decisions, is that there's more demand for labor than there is labor. And you know what that means for us, ladies and gentlemen? Increased wages. The last time the labor market was this good for employees was in the predecessor, the building up to the dot-com bubble. Some people would argue there are a bubble today in housing and stocks, Well, this is a huge bubble. This is a huge bubble. The labor force, that unemployment rate, where it dropped below 4%, was unsustainable. It was built on these delusional expectations of the profitability of dot-coms. I don't think we broke below 4% during the housing bubble. We were close. I think we're in like the 4.2, 4.3 range. But I do distinctly remember the last time it was this good was 20 years ago. Right? And what happened? Well, we need people to be in IT. We have very much like we do today. And if you could network computers, if you knew how to design a website, you got paid a very handsome wage. And everybody's wages were going up. So if we did it right, and we did what we were told, and we were all very good, and we weren't, it's evidenced in the economy, we should want a very low unemployment rate because that brings wages. That is, hey, you ate your fruits and vegetables, you went and worked out, now you get yourself an ice cream. A matter if it's more than an ice cream, this is what you worked for, is higher wages. So now, if somebody wants to employ you, Well, you got plenty of other job opportunities. And this is good for everybody because, well, you want me? Okay, you better pay me. You better pay me. And then everyone has more disposable income. Your standards of living go up. Democrats should be for this. Democrats at one time, were the party of labor. Heck, in Europe a lot of times it's called the Labor Party. They wanted wages to go up. And even today, oh my gosh, listen to these old hat economists, what's his name? Robert Reich and Paul Krugman. They can't stop whining, complaining about stagnating wages. Wages have stagnated since the 1970s. It's like, well, maybe if Bill Clinton didn't ship out all the jobs to China, maybe there would have been, and maybe, you lower taxes, maybe there'd be demand. But anyway, through these trials and tribulations, this particular rare, once a 20-year blue moon, the economy is doing very well. And some people attribute it to Obama, some will attribute it to Trump. I would attribute it to neither. I would attribute it to the American people because they're the ones who make up the economy, but that's just me. But the Democrat side is, oh, we got to fight for higher wages. We need more wages. Well, they've stopped that now. And now they've introduced another argument that really pisses me off as an economist because after we have done the good stuff, we have eaten our fruits and vegetables, we have worked hard, we have gotten educated, we have taken skills, we've gone through Lord knows how much in education, we bust our asses off, and now we're about to get more, we're about to get good wages, we're about to get a boost. No, we need immigration. We need immigration. And this isn't even a debate because when you increase the supply of labor, that decreases wages. Now, if the demand for labor increases by 5% and the supply of labor only increases by 3%, you will still have raising wages. It's just that the additional supply of labor will depress it. And now that the Democrats want to flood the United States with a bunch of legal and illegal immigrants, just so they can get votes, by the way, they are denying the American people their hard-earned right to higher wages. And I would like to point out, for those of you who are working poor, perfect story, and this even triggered my thought about doing this video. I went to 2 places in the Twin Cities. One is called Top Golf. It's a driving range that's year-round. They got heaters, and it's not a golf course. You just drive balls, and there's games you could play. Bar, restaurant, that kind of thing. And the other one was Shake Shack, which is a burger joint out of New York City. So these are 2 new venues that opened. And I walked in, and it is immediately noticeable that nearly all, I can't say all, but 95, heck, at Shake Shack, it was everybody but one guy. Everyone who was employed there was black. Now, if you didn't know this about Minnesota, Minnesota does not have a terribly huge black population, but there is, of course, a black population. And I was sitting there like, you notice it. You cannot help but notice it, especially at the Shake Shack, because Shake Shack's in Edina. Well, and if you don't know, Edina is like it used to be where the new money went back in the 80s and the 90s. Now that's gone a different place. But imagine the Winnetka, maybe the Upper East Side is Manhattan's equivalent. But it's old money now, but it's still pretty white. And it was very clear who the serfs and who the kings were. But you walk in and you got all these preppy little moppy-haired white kids. They're the ones eating. They're the ones that should be, in my day, we worked fast food. We shoveled driveways. And here are these spoiled little Edina kids with their moppy hair and looking at their phones, and all the black kids are working. And because it's beneath us, we're from Edina. Every day I need attention. And I gotta kind of like, okay, you gotta admit, these guys these are spoiled little kids from the suburbs. So is that, and then Top Golf, it was the same thing. Not necessarily preppy kids from Edina, but nearly everyone employed was black. And I got to sitting thinking, and this may sound hard, but it's true, and there's no other way to point it out, but the black community is in basically the lowest socioeconomic class. They're the poorest. We could argue that the American Indians and the tribes are poor, which they are, especially if you could look at a Pine Ridge reservation. But the point is, you looked at this and you said, okay, hang on, wait a minute. they just employed about 50 black people. And it's, admittedly, it's not the greatest job, you got that right, but they're jobs. And I'm thinking like, cool, hey, this is the first step out of poverty. And most of them were young, so you could also make the argument, well, yeah, they're teenagers, they're, in their younger 20s, we all work, well, I guess if you're not from Edina, we all work those jobs, but if you're from Edina, you don't know what a job is. Anyway, stop picking on Edina. It was good to see, because it's like the economy is so good, we're going to get everybody. We're bringing everybody along. We are going to go to the lowest economic status, or the poor. We're going to get them jobs. And this is the first then step there. Okay, then maybe you go to school, become an accountant or an engineer. Please don't major in the liberal arts. Please, ladies, the boys, no. The boys, no. But please don't major in the liberal arts. Do not work all that time at the Shake Shack and Top Golf, save your money for tuition, and then piss it away on an English degree. Okay? Please have something that pays at the end. But the point was that a large amount of employment solely for our most disadvantaged, poorest economic class of people, jobs. This is great. Now here's where it pisses me off. Not the jobs. Now we're starting to actually cut into poverty. Now we're really starting to make a difference. We are actually starting to help people. The economy is so good, we can help out everybody. People are disadvantaged, people have to be a minority race, people have to just be poor. You lived in a trailer park, your mom spit out 17 kids. Goes, who dang diggly dangly do? We're from Wyoming, who dang? Everybody, all boats are rising. It's like this, it's like America, fuck yeah. Oh no, we gotta import immigrants. We gotta let that caravan in. And it kind of pisses me off that when you have the poor in our country who are struggling because they're poor, and now we have this opportunity, you can import all the immigrants you want. You're not gonna hurt people who are engineers or doctors or the Edina kids, You're not going to hurt me. You're not going to hurt CPAs. But you know who you are going to hurt? The people who need the most amount of help. The people who, a lot of you may scoff and joke and ha-ha when you get $1 per hour raise or you hear that. I remember $1 an hour raise was huge. Shit, 50 cents back when I was working in college. Now, of course, there's some inflation. But if you're making $100,000, I guess it really doesn't matter if you're making $101,000. But if you're making $10 an hour, it really does matter if you make $11 an hour. And when you let immigrants in unchecked, and they are here to take jobs, black market or underground economy, or officially or not, you really do cut in to what presumably is the Democrat, the people that the Democrats claim to help out the most. That would be predominantly the poor. They also claim they help minorities. Again, I will point to every Democrat city, every Democrat city council, and every town that has voted Democrat to say, how you guys doing? And I'd say that might be evidence and proof that they don't want to help you. But the hypocrisy on the part of the Democrats advocating and letting in immigrants, typically illegal, because of the fields, because the political reasons Democrats want the votes. The social justice, virtue signaling, prissy little white girl trying to be popular to everyone in college is saying, she cares about immigrants. I don't know about you. I kind of care about Americans. And the black community in particular, they didn't have a choice to be here. Don't know if you know your American history. And for the first time that I don't have to pay more in taxes, the economy is booming, we're getting it. Oh, the Democrats come in, and frankly, please listen to me, they fuck over the black people again. They fuck you guys over again, because you know what? Basically, you're their bitch. They know you're going to vote for them, and so they can just take you for granted, and they can totally screw you over. So whereas I said, the demand for labor goes up by 5%, but the supply for labor only goes up by 3%. Well, that's only a net 2% increase in wages, roughly estimating. I want you to get the full 5%. Again, corporate CFO Steve making his $125,000 an hour over at General Mills, he's not going to really be affected. Fresh off the assembly line, CPA Amy, You know, she's got her $55,000, $60,000 job offer at Pete Marwick, not really going to affect her. But if you were poor and you didn't have mommy and daddy be able to afford you Shake Shack or Topgolf when you were in high school, and you had to pay your way through college, hell, here's a foreign concept for all you precious limousine liberals out there. Sometimes you actually had to support yourself at the age of 18, pay for food, rent, clothing, shelter, and tuition. It was the 90s, crazy day. That competition really, really, really fucking hurts the poor. You know, and I'm no big Democrat. I hate the Democrats. But I am a libertarian, and you know what? I'm also an American. And fuck you, Democrats, for fucking treating people who are not Americans better than your own goddamn citizens. Your own goddamn... Especially the people you lie and claim to be wanting to help out the most. You should absolutely be ashamed of yourselves, how you have betrayed America's labor, the true Labor Party. I mean, I can't believe I'm arguing for the Labor Party. Americans, poor working class people, by just flooding the country in with a bunch of illegal aliens, also you can get fucking votes. Fuck you. Just fuck you. You have no loyalty to the country. You don't even have loyalty to the people you claim to be supporting. I just hope, I mean, there's a dream, I have a dream too, is that someday the black community says, hey, wasn't it the Republicans that fought the Civil War against the Democrats and freed us? I mean, you may not like what the Republicans say, but you know what, when it comes down to it, we're kind of on your side. No, we're not going to pay you. Yes, you should stop having children out of wedlock. No, you're not special because of the color of your skin. No, we're not going to give you affirmative action, but you know what, we are going to protect you from foreigners coming into this country and stealing your jobs. And I would like the good times to roll. You know what? I don't want 60% of the increase in wages going to Americans and 40% to foreigners. I don't want 70% going to Americans and 30% to illegal immigrants. I want 100 motherfucking percent of the hard work and labor and wise investments we made to get this economy booming and the unemployment rate below 4%, I want all the gains to go into wages for Americans. And you do that by making sure the people who are here are Americans. Because and I'd have to do a study. I'd have to look at the flows of immigrants in. We'd have to look at price elasticity for different types of wages. But it does not help. It does not help the poor. It does not help American minority communities, not just minorities. We're not here to feed the world. Apparently we are, according to the Democrats. But true Americans, you're here. You're a real American. I want those wages where it really counts. Because again, guy makes $110,000, makes $115,000. Sure, it's a 5% gain. All right, you make $11 an hour. Now you make $13. That's a lot. That's wait, the dollar. That'd be 5%. That'd be a buck. Yeah, a little buck. It goes a lot further. So, please, when it comes to immigration, here's a foreign concept. How about you grow a fucking pair and actually love your fellow countrymen and love your country and not let illegals in? How about that? Is that possible? That's right. It feels so good to. I see. Look, I made a social media post. I care. I care so much. No, you don't. You really don't. You just want to be popular. You want a virtue signal. You don't care about America's poor, who are finally now starting to make some headway. I sincerely hope unemployment stays below 4% for forever. That would be wonderful, because the increase in real wages and purchasing power would help out everybody, but especially the poor. Unfortunately, if you look through history, you can look it up. St. Louis Federal Reserve, it's very rare when we're under 4%, and it's not long-lived. I think the last time was it was the 1990s, late 1990s. Then before that, maybe the 80s under Reagan, probably not, because we came off a huge recession called the Volcker recession. But I think I think we were in the twos in those evil 50s. We were in the twos. We were like the high twos. It's not common, and it doesn't last long. I like to keep it up. But, that's just my thought. That's just Cappy's economic thought about labor market economics and immigration today. Because, fuck high wages. Who needs them, right? Why would we? Let's keep everybody perpetually poor. Anyway, if you found this interesting, you learned a little bit about economics, you like the challenging thought, the controversy, check out my site, assholeconsulting.com, where I do consulting. Check out all the other videos we have on this channel. Check out my other YouTube channel, Older Brother. And then check out I got all the links below. Matter of fact, forget me listing it. I got books and everything and podcasts. It's all in the links below. Click on the expand. You'll see it there. I'll link it there. All right, that's it. Toodles.